we'll be covering euro dollar today. Price action on Friday, October 20th. I did replay it to just before New York Open, but just discussing this higher time frame. You can see we've been going bullish for a bit now. We trapped some buyers here, okay, and then went long from there, taking out these highs, which provided us this little pullback, but still leaving liquidity left up here. I do have this marked out. I believe we can tap into this area and maybe respect it a bit, go off, sell off for a bit, and then continue to the upside. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, this is what it looks like here on the 15 or the 5, so we can get more of an intraday idea of what's going on. We can see we have liquidity left at the highs up here, right? Respected the highs multiple times, leaving seller liquidity, sorry. But we can also see that we've left some equals here, right? We'll discuss why I think these won't get touched yet. But yeah, let's dive right into this price action here. So we're on M5 again, just before New York Open. Let's discuss what Asia did. So Asia printed this low in the market, came up, took out this high, all right, and you can see how price kind of respected these areas here for a little bit, and then sold off and trapped buyers here. Perfect. From this reaction, giving us this liquidity block down here, we moved higher, respected the highs, printed these lows, which would now end up being an inducement low, with a liquidity block just below. Okay, so we'll keep an eye on that. Okay, and we went long ever since, printing this high in the market, coming down, printing this low. So now, ideally, we want to see this high taken next, as that will induce buyers and trap sellers. So now we're approaching New York Open. So now we take out those sellers, and now we've induced buyers. So that tells me these areas here are going to be traps. We're not looking to buy from these areas. Okay, we want to see this taken, because if you think about it, if this is now taken, right, we come down and take it out. What does that now do? This induces sellers, so this will be a trap area, right? So maybe we can come down, run this, run up. We'll get false reactions at the highs, which will build liquidity for us, and then a continuation, right? So kind of things you can anticipate, but let's continue. Okay, so look how we'll write this. Buyers trapped. Cool. And again, that tells us this is going to be traps. Okay, since buyers are trapped here, this is now going to induce sellers at the highs. Since we don't really have any liquidity here right now, we should respect the highs to build that liquidity. We'll get a false reaction lower, and then hopefully get that continuation. Okay, so sort of anticipate these things. Look how we're moving so fast to the downside. This move is just false. Again, trapping buyers. It should get swallowed all the way back up. All right. And we run this inducement low. Look how we have that liquidity block right at the lows here. Possible extreme entry. If you're okay with taking entries from the left, that would have been one. And we move bullish. Now we're approaching the highs. So again, what can we anticipate? We can anticipate false reactions because we've taken out this low over here. So SMC or retail thinks this is break of structure, so they're going to be selling these areas up here. Okay. We can also see that we left a liquidity block at the lows here on M5. Okay, so now we even come higher. We'll mark this out, taking out this high, inducing buyers in the market. And look how we come down, and now we're starting to trap buyers. Trap them here. And again, what do we have at the extreme? A nice liquidity block. Why do we think this is going to get respected? Well, we've taken out liquidity, right? Look with the aggression too, taking out that liquidity. So there's not going to be any liquidity here yet. But once we come down and respect it and move away, now there will be liquidity here. Okay, so that's the logic behind that. Entries were taken just like this. Stop goes below. Now, where can we target? We got the highs we were talking about from here. Also, more of a higher time frame. This inducement high from the left. you can hold partials to, but multiple different targets, right? And I'll explain why and where I manage my trade. Okay, so we get tapped in. Okay, perfect. Tapped right into the M5 liquidity block. Now we have liquidity at the highs. Look how at 9:30, right at New York Stock Open, we respected it, gave us that false move to the downside. Okay, so now we have that liquidity to the upside. Now there's sufficient liquidity to the upside. We can move higher from here. We get tapped in our entry. Now we start moving away. And right when we took out this high here, you can either take partials or you'd have to roll your stop to break even. Okay, because now our entry was essentially an inducement low, so now it's at risk of getting ran. The reason why I didn't believe it was going to get ran because it's 10:30 on a Friday. For us to come all the way back down on 10:30, since we've already had that false move at 9:30, there's no reason for us to come all the way back down. We're probably just going to have a continuation the rest of the day. But we have a little pullback. And then we screw around a bit. I believe we're just like trading in this area now. Yeah. So if you're able to partial here, nice. If you haven't, this will be the next area to partial at. We'll see what happens. Now we've taken out this high, so ideally you don't want to be buying anywhere above this low here. Okay, so something to watch. But yeah, this was the whole logic behind my trade here. I was actually lucky to get in a little lower too, just because since my first target was being here where sellers are trapped, this is an area I want to be partialing at. Also because since sellers are trapped, we can expect a little pullback, right? Again, because of time, I didn't expect price to come all the way back down and take this inducement low out. But I did expect a little bit of pullback, again, because sellers are trapped, so liquidity is now taken, okay? So taking partials at these kind of areas will ease the mind, especially because when pullbacks occur, you don't want to be floating from a 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 all the way back to like a 1 to 1 or 1 to 1.5, whatever it is, right? So take partials at these areas, pay yourself, it'll ease your mental, remove as much emotion as possible, right? And that's the goal. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this study. We will see what price action is given to us next week. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one.